Nothing feels like a Mizuno, at least that's what they say. Currently, nothing costs like a Mizuno either. Hi everyone, my name is James and welcome back to the channel. Today we have the brand new Mizuno Pro S3 irons. You can see just how new these are. I've just got them and these are the perfect specs for me to try out for you today. So we're going to kick things off with the 7 iron, and I think these look absolutely gorgeous. We all know Mizuno have made some fantastic looking irons in the past. We all know Mizuno make fantastic feeling irons, but I can't get my head around just how much these cost. So these are going to set you back around £1,400 for a set 4 iron to wedge. Now, that's not necessarily the end of the world, but it is a lot of money. So these things are going to have to perform pretty well. Now, what do you define as performing pretty well for an iron like this? Because realistically, it's just a nice traditional CB style head, isn't it? Now, I can talk to you all day long about how these irons look, how these irons potentially feel, but I need to hit them first to see if they do feel as good as Mizuno's of the past. So, we're 170 yards out with a gorgeous Lindrick golf club today. And I have to say, look at Chris, bring it in, because look at this. That looks absolutely stunning. Blade length, top line, everything about that just looks gorgeous. It actually looks a lot smaller and sleeker than what I thought it would do looking at the ball. I've only just got these, so we haven't done the numbers yet, but we will be talking numbers in this video. So I guess we're wanting versatility, we're wanting forgiveness, and we're wanting nice performance. And straight away, that's a lovely ball flight, just rising up nicely, a little fade towards the centre of the green. It's a green in regulation, and we've got some nice turf interaction as well. One of the things that Mizuno have done here is worked heavily on the sole to get that nice turf interaction for you. Very reminiscent, I think, of the old JPX Tour irons looking at these, and they still are a fantastic iron for anyone wanting potentially a set of second-hand Mizuno clubs. Let's go again. Now, sound and feel wise, they're up there. They really are up there with some of what I think are the best feeling and performing irons out there. You can see turf interactions really nice, really solid. We're just getting a nice little kind of shallow divot, which is exactly what we do want for these clubs. So they're very traditional lofted, they're very traditional look wise, and it pains me to say it, they feel fantastic. I hate using like a company's marketing strategy line for my reviews, but when they do feel this good, I think you have to give them the overall credit for them. Let's go one more with the 7 and work our way through the set. Now, consistency wise, I feel like I can throw a blanket over all of those, and that's took a lovely kick into the green as well. Guys, let's work our way through this set. Let's talk some numbers a little bit later on, and let's see if these are in fact worth that £1,400 price tag for the set of Mizuno Pro S3 irons. So straight away there with the 7 iron, you can see some very nice consistent results. We've hit the green 3 times out of 3. We're pretty much flag high with all of those shots, and they did vary in strike a little bit. They all felt pretty good, but I certainly feel like the 3rd shot was the best swing and the best strike, which is interesting because it's not gone that much further. So you are still getting an element of forgiveness here while still getting some pretty good performance all round. So just what tech do you get for your money with these new Mizuno Pro? Are they MP, do you think? MP S3s maybe? Well, the Mizuno S3s, they have optimized sole geometry, which I did mention earlier, to get that enhanced surf interaction. We also have a thinner tour preferred top line and thin sole, which I also mentioned earlier. Funny how all these technologies are visible technologies, and we also have a craftsman's refined shaping. So all the technology realistically in these clubs is more designed to be keen on the eye than potentially keen on your game. So when it comes to the short irons in these clubs, we're going to talk about the 9 iron here. Potentially, we've just spoke about tech in these clubs, and there's not really that much going on. You can see that it is designed to be that refined shape, that refined style, and the wind's just getting up here at Lindrick. So this is a par 3 that measures around 130, 135 yards. It's quite a tough shot for that yardage. Can we play this down? Can I manipulate the ball flight that I want to? Because talking numbers is all good and well, but I think if you play Mizuno irons, you're probably that guy who likes to manipulate that ball flight just a little bit. So, can we chip these down there? Looks absolutely gorgeous, I must say, down at this. And straight away, that could be all over it if it's the club gone then. That could go in that.
It could go in that.
That
I
could
didn't zoom on
potentially,
that.
no, could potentially have gone in with the first one, but struck that a little bit cleanly. Still got a nice launch on there, still got a pretty good spin rate. Visually, you can see how low on the face I did strike that. So I think potentially what you are paying for here is that element of forgiveness whilst also getting that craftsmanship and of course the Mizuno branding and the Mizuno name. A big problem for Mizuno with these clubs could be the likes of Tacoma, the likes of Tora, the likes of Cali, all these brands that are offering a nice forged head with premium components for a third of the price, which is a big saving for a lot of golfers. That looks really close, you know. Set the stall out now with the first one. And that's another really nice strike. That was a better strike. That was more compact, and you can see that one's flag high left as well. So we've hit two very different shots there, but again, if we're going to get that consistency of front to back dispersion, if I pull that a little bit, if it still has the spin on it and still goes the distance I want it to go, then that kind of makes that price tag a little bit more reasonable. What do you think of the price tag, Chris? Because they're not cheap, are they?
No, certainly I would have thought they'd be closer to around the £1,000
I think £1,000 now, this sounds ridiculous, but acceptable. I think as soon as you start going like £1,400, it's only $2,000, isn't it, when you put it into...
Yep, right up there.
Right, come on. I must say, they absolutely feel as, that's another great bounce, isn't it, towards that flag. They feel as good as I think what Mizuno are telling you to feel. And that's probably one of the big takeaways from this video. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, that would have been a lovely way to christen these new Mizuno irons. You can see the 9 irons just pitched there and released out nicely, and that's very nearly a hole-in-one with the first shot on the hole. So we've got one flag high left and the final shot just released out off this bank to the right. So 3 more fantastic shots there with the 9 iron. And you see, guys, when I talk about potentially the long iron dying out, I even think potentially with this set of brand new Mizuno irons, lots and lots of people potentially won't be thinking about that 4 iron. So I have the 5 iron here, and it's fair to say it looks gorgeous. I can tell you that till the cows come home in this video, but how's it going to perform? Does it have that little bit of technology in here to help me potentially with a few mishits? And can it potentially help me get a little bit of versatility in my game to hit nice high and low golf shots? Because that for me is what buying a set of irons is all about. Does it do what I want them to do out here on the course? Initially, that is such an easy shot to launch. That's the exact flight window that I want from the 5 iron. I feel like that's gone quite a long way as well, to be fair to it. Really nice and high, nice flight windows, we've said, nice spin window. Can we nudge that down a bit? Can we play that more stinger style shot? You can see there a totally different flight window, totally different impact and totally different strike. So potentially we are getting everything that I want from this iron. You can see it does have that lovely kind of cavity back design as well, that lovely kind of 2-step design, just to drag CG down a touch. And I must say the long irons here are actually, I think, some of my favourites, because that is 3 out of 3 for exactly what I'm wanting to do. And you can really see that kind of geometric sole on the bottom there that's helping me with that turf interaction, helping me get that strike that I want. And so, guys, you can see there again 3 fantastic shots and 3 fantastic front to back dispersions to say just how we varied those 3 ball flights. So guys, if you've enjoyed that video, make sure you smash that subscribe button below. Let us know what do you think to the brand new, pretty expensive Mizuno Pro S3 irons. Guys, see you at the same time tomorrow. Thank you ever so much for your time once again. Okay, so let's discuss numbers for these stunning Mizuno Pro S3 irons. We're going to kick things off with the 9 iron, and for me these are pretty much, not a great start to the brand new simulator, but these are exactly what I think a lot of traditional players would want. So I'm looking here for nice spin rates, pretty consistent shots, and that felt absolutely fantastic off the board. So 7,006 spin to kick off, and you can see there that's pitched at 131, so a little bit down potential on what we would have. look at that. Look at that. It was a little bit duffy, that's why the spin maybe was down. That's a calming. So there's not a lot of forgiveness going on with these clubs realistically. They're pretty much pitching wedge numbers so far. What are we saying there with that strike? Let's get some good strikes going here. I think this can be a 140 carry club. For me, that's what a 9-iron should be. That's better. Pulled it ever so slightly. Spin very consistent actually. And numbers really, really consistent as well there at 136 throughout. Can we get that strike just a little bit better?
Ready.
That's a better one. That's a better one. You can see the spins jumped up straight away there when I have struck it better. And again, it's very, very consistent actually. These aren't the longest irons in the world, but from a consistency standpoint, we're doing pretty well there. Let's go one more. We'll move up through the set. Can we get this to 140? Right, I can't hit it better than that. 8,007 spin, the exact spin number that we're wanting, and consistency-wise, they are pretty much exactly the same. Okay, numbers with the 7-iron. Let's see if we can get that kind of 165 carry that I would usually suspectly get with, that's not even a word, but get with an iron of this loft. I've set a green out there, 170 yards, which is potentially a long way. But I do feel like potentially anything carrying around 160, especially with how far that 9-iron went, would be a good starter. So 155, 161 total, 6-6 spin. So again, the spin numbers are pretty good here. We are generating some pretty good controlled spin. That is a terrible strike. What a day to be testing a set of new Mizunos, ladies and gents. 155. If you want forgiveness, I don't think these are going to be the ones.
Ready.
Toey again. Toey again. Loads of spin. Plenty of spin on there. 152.
Ready.
Right, that's a good one. That's the first real one with the 7-iron. We have struck pretty well. I would suspect 155. So again, it's just not going a million miles away. We're testing lots of clubs today, so I'm looking forward to comparing these and seeing potentially just what differences we see. Come on. 7-1 spin. That's the shot where you leave here thinking, you know what, potentially I could put these in there.
Ready.
Okay, 5-iron.
Ready.
Now this should be around a kind of 190-ish club, I would hope. Looks very thin. It's toey again, you know. It's toey again. What's that going? It's not done bad for a toey one, actually. That is releasing up to 185.
Ready.
That felt nice. They always feel nice, don't they? Yeah, 180 carry, 187 total.
Ready.
Really impressed with those spin numbers. Distance, they're never going to be the longest clubs in the world, but we've got that kind of 187 carry that's releasing up to 200 yards. When you get these out the middle, I think they can be a fantastic club. If you don't get them out the middle, it's not going to be a great day for you, unfortunately. They feel fantastic though.